All right, folks. I have made some stark realizations here recently. One, that monetary gain is not directly involved with sacrifice or hard work. We got away from it. We decided that was a bad policy to have. You don't need to learn a trade to earn more money. You don't need to sacrifice or work hard. We'll give it to you carte blanche. At the same time, we run around scratching our head wondering why the value of our dollar has tanked. The value of money is directly tied to how hard it is to get. Now you remove the hard to get part and it makes it worth nothing. If you have to do nothing to get something, it's worth nothing. You ever wonder why the country was built on hard work and grit? Because it meant something. Hard work, sacrifice was rewarded with monetary gain. Now we don't have that. It's not directly tied. It's viewed as a right, not something you have to work or strive for, something you deserve. And as a result, the value of it has dropped dramatically. You think I'm wrong? Check it out. Look at how much money was worth before and how much money is worth now. It's gonna be said that that's not the case. But there can't deny the amount money is worth has dropped with the amount of work it takes to get said money. Used to, hard work paid off. Now, not so much so. And as a result, it's directly tied to other things, such as our presidents. Don't have to work hard to get money. Why work hard to advance yourself to the point of becoming eligible to be the president of our country? Look at how old our presidents are. Look at how many of them could die before they even finish their term of 4 years. Right now, there are nuclear weapons moving around a hostile country. And nobody's acting any different. Flashback to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Very same situation, very same tensions. Half this nation was glued to the TV wondering what was going to happen. Every TV, every radio station, every news channel was following it. Because it had gravity. It had meaning. We knew and understood that it affected every one of us. Today, not so much so. People are oblivious to the ramifications of this situation. And they're oblivious because they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to be concerned about it. It's over. That's over across the sea. Ain't affected me. I live in Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol, Tennessee is close to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Oak Ridge, Tennessee is where we made the bomb. Now, as a result, that makes it a strategic target for a nuclear strike. I can't change that, and I didn't make that up. It's just a fact. Now, that close to a strategic nuclear strike target means fallout, radiation, death. So it does directly affect where I live. But the population where I live is completely unaffected by that fact. As a result, it only begs to reason we have lost ground. We have gone backwards. We're not advancing. And as far as advancement goes, you can have the most advanced technology in the world. But if the people operating that technology are waterheads, doesn't matter. Prime example, the tank that ran out of gas and 2 tank operators that turned herself in because they didn't have gas. Think about that. A nation that is making Molotov cocktails to defend herself took a tank crew in one of the most advanced vehicles because they ran out of gas. If we can't see the flaw in the way people reason and think anymore, it may be too late. If we cannot see the fact that hard work is directly tied to the amount the dollar's worth, we may be too late. Now, I'm not saying we have to do anything radical. I'm just saying we need to start using sense that ain't so common anymore. I can't even call it common sense. We fight and raise Cain until everybody makes more, even the people that don't work hard and sacrifice. We can't raise Cain because the amount of the dollar is less. If I pay you $50 to go out and shovel snow, and I pay another guy $50 to sit and watch you shovel snow, are you going to want to shovel snow, or are you going to sit and watch somebody else shovel snow? Why would you go out and work hard shoveling snow when you can sit and make the same amount of money not shoveling snow? I don't understand where common sense became uncommon, and I don't understand where hard work became frowned upon. But that's where we're at. And it's sad. It's sad because I don't see it changing. Because the people that don't want to work hard outnumber the people that work hard, which means their voices are going to be heard before the people that work hard. And we've structured our entire society around frowning upon speaking up. If you worked hard all your life to build something, you can lose every bit of it simply by speaking your mind. 14 years in ironwork with an arm that's tore off. And worked hard, learned a trade, became a welder. $15 an hour. Now, all I gotta do is make fries. Stand in one spot, don't have to learn anything, don't have to think. The machine does everything for me. Push a button, it tells me when to let it out of the grease. Hell, now it even takes it out of the grease, just in case I'm not there to lift it up. And my job is to push a button. That makes the $15 worth less because it's easier to get. If you don't have to sacrifice, you don't have to work hard, you can't complain that your money is not worth as much. You can't complain when somebody don't want to go out and learn a trade. When we don't have tradesmen. Why would we have tradesmen when we don't reward hard work and sacrifice? When we tell the people that earn $15, $20 an hour that somebody that will not sacrifice, will not learn a trade, will not work hard, deserves to earn the same amount of money, why would you go out and earn a trade, learn a trade. Why would you go out and work hard? And it's not that it's not rewarded, but it's rewarded the exact same as not learning a trade, not working hard, not putting in the effort, not making any sacrifice. And when you make policy and structure your society around that, this is the outcome. We have taken sense and made it uncommon. We have taken hard work and sacrifice and learning a trade and made it inconsequential, made it obsolete, and then want to jump up and down when we don't have people to do it. I've realized that I live in a country right now that if you work your entire life, sacrifice, and work hard to build something, you can lose what you worked your whole life and worked hard for simply by speaking up, by having an opinion, which is frowned upon, by the way. Now, here's the kicker. Knowing where we went wrong and what's wrong does not necessitate or even make logical the change back, because every generation has made it easier for the generation before, until we've lulled ourselves to complacency to the point where nobody wants to work hard. And the people that do work hard support 50 people that don't. What's going to happen when the people that did have morals and values and work hard are all dead? Which is happening right now. We got about 3 generations that don't want to work because they haven't had to. We have made it so simple for them to get money and to survive and not have to do anything to get it, that nobody wants to. But we're going to raise Cain. We're going to raise Cain because we have a supply shortage. But at the same time, we're going to send everything that we used to do here overseas because it's cheaper to do and it costs less. So you can get more for doing nothing. It's all tied together. But we refuse to see that it's tied together. We refuse to see that the people that don't want to work, don't want to sacrifice, and don't want to make something for themselves can get the exact same thing that somebody that does want to work, does want to sacrifice, and does want to better themselves has. And that very simple concept eludes the majority of this population. Currently where I live, I'm close to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And as I previously stated, it's a strategic target. And I know for a fact that there are people, right now, the majority of people don't even follow what's going on. They care less. They think it's overseas. We are becoming a nation that don't understand the reality of life. Mental apathy. Half the population can't retain anything because they don't have to retain anything. They can look it up on their phone. Why retain it? You pull your phone out and look it up again when you need to know. Memorization used to be an important skill in school. Now we got laptops with hard drives, flash drives, micro SD cards. We put everything we need to know on that. See, every advancement that we have made to society has taken the place of an innate skill we used to have. And once that skill is replaced by a piece of technology, the skill is forgotten. And as a result, you end up with this. What we have now. And what we have now is not sustainable. By no means is it sustainable. If you don't use your legs, you can't use your legs. If you can't use your legs, and you need to use your legs, it's bad. House catches on fire and you can't move because you haven't moved. Prime example. We've stopped using our mind. We've stopped rewarding hard work and sacrifice with monetary compensation and just hand money out. Why make somebody work hard for it? Why tie hard work and skill to monetary compensation when you can just give out monetary compensation for lack of skill and no work? Why do you think we don't have a president under the age of 50? We don't have a president under the age of 50 because most of the people under the age of 50 aren't fit to be president. And if you think about that for a minute, just real quick, what's going to happen when people over 50 are dead? Which is happening by the droves right now. Old age, coronavirus, hearts, health conditions, just a number of factors are going to wipe that part of the population out. And the part that's left is not mentally competent enough to run a country. Half of them aren't mentally competent enough to run a lemonade stand because they've been taught they don't need to work hard. They don't need to learn. It's not tied to monetary compensation. And as a result, it's gone. And we can complain about supply chains and all that stuff all you want. It still don't change the facts. If you don't teach people to work hard and sacrifice to earn something, earning something becomes a thing of the past. And it's just given. Sure, it's cool to be given money. It's fun, but it has a result. And a direct result that we see today all over. And I don't know what's going to become of this way of life, but I know it's not going to be pretty. You got people that aren't even worried about a nuclear crisis going on about their life or about where they're going to get their coffee. If their feelings are hurt. Not if they're going to die because some dictator decides to launch a nuclear weapon. That is secondary to their personal wants. It's insane. Cuban Missile Crisis, most of the country was watching. Now, they'd rather watch SpongeBob or a cartoon or listen to their music, totally oblivious to the reality of the situation. Because reality isn't their reality. They're in their own little bubble, worried about getting whatever they can get while they can get it. I'm watching the town I live in change at the moment. Most of the places that were here when I was young are gone. They're gone because they're not needed. Nobody does anything that used to be done. The ones that do are old and dying. You don't walk to the store, you can call Instacart, Grubhub, or any of these other services and have it brought to you. Now, as a result, flash forward a few years, like to where we're at now, You can't get somebody to walk 4 or 5 miles to do something. That's insane, unheard of. Why walk when I can call Uber and just give them some of this free money I got for doing nothing, sacrificing nothing, or learning anything? It goes across the spectrum. They're like dominoes. You take one out, and it has a direct effect on something else. And we've taken so many of them out that we got like 5 standing up and wondering why it don't work when you push the first one. Because there's 15 missing between the two. Now, I'm not saying we should make things easier or have convenience, but I'm saying ease and convenience have caused apathy, mental, physical, and social apathy, to the point where it has degraded our society badly. Maybe even to the point where it's not reversible. I know of at least 2 or 3 generations that have had everything handed to them, and as a result, they expect it to be handed to them. They will lobby for it to be handed to them. And the ones that don't want to sacrifice and work hard outweigh the ones that do sacrifice and work hard, 50-1. So their voices are going to be heard a lot louder than the ones that work. And that population is getting older. They're dying off. And their kids, which have had it easier than they had it, aren't like them. They won't work hard. They won't sacrifice because they know they don't have to. Now, what point do we have to get to that we realize we are messing up? We are taking away an important part of humanity. I don't know, folks. I know that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Now, we've got to the point where we don't care about the reaction or the consequence of the reaction. All we care about is the action. We don't care how much money is valued at. The only thing we care about is how easy it is to get it. We don't care about having an opinion. We damn sure care about stifling them. Anybody that says anything other than the popular narrative is hammered like a nail that sticks up. That's why nobody says anything, because they don't want to be hammered like a nail. And as a result, nobody's saying anything. Nothing with common sense is being done. Now, there's a lot without common sense being done because the people without common sense speak louder than the people with common sense, which makes them a political movement, a changing wave that's washing across the country and eroding everything that it's going to take to keep the country that hard work and sacrifice built. And nobody cares. Nobody cares that we have mental and social apathy because it's frowned upon to even think that way. It's frowned upon to have an opinion. It's frowned upon to do anything other than the popular narrative, which basically makes us a flock. And you can hurt a flock, which is exactly why we become a flock. It's easier to control something when they aren't thinking. They don't individualize. They don't have an opinion. When they'll go, okay, and do whatever is popular, it's easy to direct them. For instance, like saying a 3-year-old can fire a .40 caliber weapon. Now, that narrative alone is dangerous, but it's impractical. The kick from a firearm that large would either bust their cranium or cause serious injury. But all we have to do is make that narrative, and it'll convince people to give up their guns. Because some poor little 3-year-old had a 40 caliber gun. If you'll notice, there's not a single 6-shot revolver sent to Ukraine. Not one. We didn't send no 10-round guns. We didn't send no single shot, nothing. They were all automatics. Because it's what it took to defend their country from being overrun. Now, switch it around, and that's exactly what's being told to give up. Outlaw. Nobody uses an automatic weapon. That's ridiculous. Call me crazy, but it don't sound too ridiculous to me. It does not sound too ludicrous after seeing the events that have unfolded in Ukraine. It's not too ridiculous to me to understand and see that this country has become almost too weak for the majority of the population to defend it. Because if you don't have to work hard or sacrifice, when it comes time to work hard and sacrifice, you're going to be unable to. You won't have the ability to. And with the ability gone, it makes us a target because we are weaker. I don't know if the majority of us realize that, or if the realization of that is too painful to accept. But that is the reality. That is where we live. And if you doubt it at all, watch TV. Listen to the news. Now it's going to be blamed on a lot of other things because nobody wants to burp that baby that we've created. But it stands to reason it still has to be burped. Still has to be dealt with. And that's a reality of our society. It has to be addressed. The people that are competent and capable of running the country are dying off. When they're gone, who's going to do it? Can't pass the buck forever. And we've gone down this road so far, there may not be an exit ahead of us. It's completely incomprehensible that the stagnant state our country is in, physically, socially, and mentally, is going to get any better because it's promoted in every way through entire cross sections of our population. And it's promoted by the very people that want something for nothing, which outnumber the people that believe hard work should be tied to monetary gain. And when you have the weak overruling the strong, you end up with policies like we have now. You end up with situations where you don't have a person of competent age at a young level to run the country because you stamped that out. You prevented it at all costs. You made sure that common sense wasn't common. Structured yourself to where the belief that doing nothing should make something so deep that it may be possible to reverse. Completely impossible. How do you convince somebody after raising them to believe that you should get something for doing nothing, that's not the way it is anymore. I don't see it as a possibility. I don't see it as a possibility to create an opinion anymore, due to the labels and stigma that's been attached to it. It's not politically correct, even though half the country don't even understand politics. The age of the president proves that. We're headed for a reckoning, and the reckoning we're headed for is created by each one of us that don't try to stop it. It's created by everybody that promotes mental apathy. It's created by everybody that promotes something for nothing. Every time we lobby for the lack of hard work and sacrifice, the lack of learning a trade, we kill it just a little bit more. And people don't understand that. And the ones that do kind of understand it don't want to admit it because it's painful. Think about this. If you have 2 kids right now, chances are, say you have 2 kids and you're older, after 30, you're going to die before your children, which means your children are going to inherit what you create. And what we're creating is not sustainable. So that means our children are going to inherit an unsustainable society with laws and rules that cannot go on because it's going to create collapse. The more of the money you give them for nothing, the less the money you give them is worth. The less the money you give them is worth, the less the property they have is worth, the less value put on hard work. And if there's no value put on hard work, why work hard? Why sacrifice? Why go out and learn a skill when you can get paid just as much to not learn a skill? Why work hard and build something when you can get it taken away for nothing, for just simply having an opinion, a different view than the norm? Work every day busting your ass to build something, and then bam, just like that, gone. Nothing you can do. Why would you work hard and get something? Why would that be the American dream, which it used to be? When there's no dreams, you don't have to have one. You don't have to have a vision. You don't have to have goals. You don't have to have drive. All you have to do is breathe and show up. We're even having a problem with that now.